My cat just jumped down.
What?
My cat just like jumped off and
Oh,
just knocked some shit. Okay.
cool. Start again.
Yeah. I'll just cut that out. It's fine. Or leave it in. Who the fuck cares?
This should be part of the fucking intro too.
Probably. Probably. This is the real life behind the scenes.
Yeah. Did you listen to the podcast when there was like a mouse running across and I'm like
I
screaming?
did.
Yeah, it's what it is. I don't give a fuck. It's fine.
I know, right? Okay, so welcome to the podcast. Welcome back. And I have with me my first guest. Everyone's going to be so excited because I have my first guest. This is Angela. I've known Angela now for like a couple of years, I want to say.
Probably two, right?
Yeah, I think so. I think so. And Angela just like, I don't know, we connect about all of like a lot of the bullshit online. So this
Wow.
is going to be a great conversation.
Yeah.
And I wanted to have you on because like you are doing huge things, but also like you are one to totally keep it real. So
And that I will.
I don't expect any less. But go ahead, introduce yourself, tell us who you are.
Well, thank you for having me. Like, well, I didn't know that I was going to be your first guest today. So, like,
I know.
happy to be here and like salute that and send this out into the ether. So thank you. That means a lot. I love it.
Yes.
So what's up, everybody? My name is Angela Gentile. I am an educator, a speaker, a professional host, and I also host the global podcast, The Empowered Millennials. And my whole brand is about bringing empowerment to people to live their best life outside of the norm, outside of the box. Like there are no fucking rules, and you get to create a life that you want away from the should. This ain't your mom's life. This isn't some patriarchal shit you have to follow. You get to live a life that you love on your own terms. And, I try to embody that as a single child free 40, almost 43-year-old woman who
Mhm.
has done nothing conventional in her life. Well, I scratched that. I did conventional for a long time and it like ruined my soul and it made me miserable.
Yeah.
But I really pride myself on being like, you know what? None of that shit works for me. I don't want to do it. So I live a very different outside of the box kind of life. And I hope when I share my story, people will be like, hey, I don't want what she has, but I want to do something this way for me. Like there's no one way to do anything. And I just want to support and champion people to create whatever that looks like for them. Sorry,
Yes.
a long-winded response, but
But like amazing. And I love that. And I think that that's like why we connect so much is because it's a lot the same. Like I went through tons of schooling, did all of that, and now it's like, no, like I'm really also going after like what I actually want. And I believe so much in that. And like
Mhm.
the fact that you can do that
Yeah.
and there aren't, there are limitless possibilities. And I think a lot of people don't see that. They're stuck in this box of like, I can only do this one thing.
Right. Or
But
I've
no, you can
already
do,
I've already made the choice, so now I'm stuck with it. Like it's luggage that you're just gonna have for the rest of your fucking life. Like you know what I mean? Like just because you made
yeah.
that, guess what? You can make another one.
I know, like the
Crazy.
options are endless. Like you can do whatever the fuck you want, like literally.
Yeah. And I think just to point that out too, like our lives and the roles we play in our lives could not be more polar opposite, right? Like
Mhm.
but I think it like what unites and what connects is the underlying value set that like you're not stuck, there are no rules, live whatever like kind of life you want. I'm going after my dreams. I'm not stuck. I choose growth, I choose evolution, I choose happiness. And that's something important too that I want to mention because I think people assume that because I'm child free, like I don't have friends who are parents or
Mhm.
I personally don't particularly like kids in my life, but like, you know,
Yeah.
it doesn't mean that I don't like support it and love it for you. And there are ways that you can be very vastly different in your lifestyles, but
Yeah.
also as long as the underlying value set is the same, like that's what connects us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I'm not over here making excuses about how hard it is being single and like because it's fucking hard. It's so hard to carry
Yeah.
that and like you're over here not being like, well, I have kids, I can't, like we've both
No.
thrown that away and said, nope, none of that matters. Here's what I want, and here's how I go move forward in my life. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And it's interesting. Like, I really, I really do find it interesting, the whole child-free thing. I I love how you talk about that on the podcast because obviously, yeah, I have two kids and it's something that, and I was actually listening to Jackie's podcast when you guys were talking about it the other day, and I was thinking about this, like I've never really thought about, I don't think that I've ever like gone up to someone and that's been like my first question for them. Like that's just not something that I've ever considered. It's so weird to me. But you guys were like talking about how this happens so often. And I was just like, what?
Yeah. Like
And I mean,
people,
I have kids and that's still not like, no.
yeah, it's something it's something that happens, I think, more frequently than we even talk about. Because God, if I fucking talk about every time someone questioned my life choices, like I don't define, like that is not the only definitive thing or definer or modifier in my life. Like it's just a small piece of who I am. I just happen to
Yeah.
be child free. That's like not like who I am and what I value and who I am as a person. So people, I think, when you live on the surface and you define yourself by the roles you play in other people's lives, for example, if you ask somebody who they are and they say, I'm a mom, I'm a teacher, I'm an entrepreneur. No, baby, those are roles, those are jobs. I want to know who the fuck you are. But when you live in
Hmm.
that place, right, of like, I am these things to other people, my life gets value by how I show up in the role I play for other people in their lives. Like, then you're looking to connect with someone else based off of the roles that they play. And if you're someone like me who doesn't define themselves by the roles they play in their lives, like I define myself by me, then I might sound crazy to you, right? If you ask me who I am,
Yeah.
like who the fuck is she? So I think if you ask me who I am, I'm not sitting here like I'm an entrepreneur. I mean, I did for my speaker bio because that's like what we're talking about. But
Yeah.
the essence of Angela, I'm a dreamer. I'm a fucking tenacious motherfucker. Like you cannot keep me down. I am resilient. I am creative. I am empathetic. I am a connector. I'm an empath. I'm a motivator. You know what I'm saying? Like those are the qualities that no matter what
Hmm.
role I'm playing, that's who I am. So
Yeah.
I again, people always look to define because that's if that's how they define themselves, they're looking to like place you somewhere
Yeah.
based off your role. You know what I'm saying?
I love that. I absolutely love that. Yeah. And there's way too many people that think so think so much in the roles and define it so much that way. And that totally makes sense that then that's how they would actually approach you and like
Yeah.
just go at it that way. Because like to me, when I look at any of you or any of my friends that don't have kids, like it doesn't even cross my mind. Like I don't, that's
It's
not,
a non-issue.
no,
Just
no,
like
it's not.
being a mom, like I understand that that's an important role you play and you
Yeah.
love your it's a huge part of your life, but like that's not like the first thing I would like introduce you as. You know what I'm saying? So I don't understand
No,
like why I just don't know why people fucking care so much, you know?
I
I just
know.
I don't know why that's such an issue. You can ask like, "Hey, do you have any kids or you can ask, that's cool, but like if I say no, I think what comes after that is where I want to like set fires
Yeah.
because
Oh, yeah.
it's like a pity. Like, "Oh, really? You don't? Oh." Or it's that or it's like, "Oh, good for you. It sucks. Like, kids are so hard." Like it's never just a like cool. Like
It's the
it's Tuesday.
screams.
Cool. You know what I'm saying? It's never just a time where it's just like, "Oh, neat. Great. You have curly hair. Like your
Yeah.
hair.
Moving
Great.
on.
Awesome. Moving right. Talk about something else." Like I don't know. It's such a wild retort that people give back to you when you tell them. Yeah.
That's so interesting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, because like I would never introduce you and be like, this is Angela, the non-mom. Like, what?
That's what I'm saying.
Child-free Angela. Like, can you imagine if I started the podcast with that?
Yeah. Yeah. That's the only thing I have to offer. Thanks so much. My whole
Like,
personality.
what?
But also it it hurts too, because I think what also comes into the conversation is, oh, well, you'll understand, or you don't understand because you don't have kids. I'm going to stop you right there. Don't ever assume that I don't
Yeah.
understand empathy, that I don't understand care, that I don't understand pain or struggle or worry or any of the things. I understand them. You can learn those lessons and learn those feelings without having children. I
Yeah.
may not understand what it's like in your specific instance, but
Yeah.
when I tell you I'm stressed out and you're like, oh, try having kids, stop. I get it. Like stress is stress is stress. I've learned my version of stress over here and I'm empathizing what it is for
Hmm.
you. But like one doesn't negate the other. It's not harder. This isn't the fucking Olympics of pain that I'm trying to get a gold medal in, you know? Like,
Yeah, we're not trying to
yeah,
out stress each other here.
listen, because
Yeah.
and I'm telling you, I just signed for a new apartment. I just had to drop like thousands, plural,
Did you
by
go for
myself.
the boss ass apartment?
Didn't go for the boss ass apartment.
Oh,
I went for the be realistic Angela so that I
oh
wasn't going to
shoot.
be house poor for the next year, you know?
Okay. Well, I
Um,
support
but
it, but
I want to like get my hair done and like go out for a cocktail once in
true.
a while instead of like rot in my apartment like I have been. So,
Would have been good content.
just look at my $3,500 a month apartment that I'm
It'll come into play. This will come
rotting.
into play in our conversation just
Great.
a little bit.
Great, perfect.
I know.
Yeah, so just saying, like, just a little aside here, like doing this on your own, like I have to move, I have to pack, I have to
Hmm.
get movers, I have to get a storage unit, I have to get from one place to the next, like I'm carrying the burden of financial, like doing that by yourself is really it's challenging. And I'm not
Yeah.
doing that to be like give Angela a pity party. Like, why can't it just exist? Why can't we say that's hard? How can I support you? In the same way that like you'd be like, my kid's going to college, I have to save, my kid's doing this over here, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Like that's horrible. Like that's hard. How can I support you? I think that's a phrase that I would like all of us to adopt when people are saying something's hard. Please do not gaslight or toxic positivity or talk somebody down. Just allow them to exist. Allow everybody's life to exist as it is for them and say,
Yeah.
either I love that journey for you, I'm so happy for you, or how can I help? How can I support you? That's it. You don't have to
Yeah.
judge it. You don't have to like put it in a category. Just like let it be. Let it be.
That'd be great.
Be awesome. That's all I ask. That's the podcast, everybody. That's all I
Yeah.
ask.
That would be great. What's the likelihood of we think that that's going to happen?
No, not at all. Because I think,
Oh,
I just don't think we're ready for those conversations. Because
no.
if you are ready for that, then that means that you got to be rock motherfucking solid in yourself. Like you got to be
Yeah.
cool with you. You have to own your choices. You have to be okay, like where you are in your life and whatever timeline and journey you're on. You have to be like, look, I'm owning it. This is where I am right now. And that's cool. And I don't think a lot of people want to do that. I don't think people will be willing to present what the reality of their life is, you know?
Hmm.
So I don't think that that's even a conversation that we're ready to have
Yeah.
as a collective, as a society.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. So I want to know because you are also
Mhm.
an entrepreneur. Like you have built a business, you've done the thing. Tell me about some of that. What was that like for you? Because obviously, this is talk about online business and we talk about like the real side of this. So what was
Mhm.
that really like?
So I think my entrepreneur journey started as a cathartic way for me to heal, if I'm being honest with you, because I felt
Hmm.
very stifled and very trapped in a teaching job that like was suffocating me. And it was very toxic. I was a public school teacher in the United States. And if anybody listening can just comprehend what that's like for 5 seconds, like it's fucking stupid. It's just
Mm.
and the amount of pressure and stress and like endless failure you face every single day is just it's ridiculous. So um when my dad died, I felt like I say this all the time, like having an emotional yard sale. And
Hmm.
I just let everything out and I'm like, okay, I'm looking at my life out in front of me of all the things that I'm doing, that I'm feeling, that I'm saying, that I believe. And I'm like, what is actually mine? And what are the things that I digested to take on as mine, either from generational trauma, social conditioning, the patriarchy, all of that. And so much of my life was intertwined with generational trauma, patriarchy, like conditioning, social conditioning, societal conditioning, all of those things. And I was like, I don't want any of this. And
Yeah.
I felt like I needed to like come out of my cocoon. And I did like a hard right. And I was like, I'm like,
Yeah.
fuck all this. You're not telling me what to do. Like because again, I felt very oppressed, very suppressed as a woman, just being a good girl and being told what to do all the time. And I just
Hmm.
had no more space for that. And I felt so angry that something I loved so much, I love my dad so much, he was gone. And I was
Hmm.
pissed. I was pissed. So I was like, you know what? I'm never gonna waste 1 second of my life doing shit that I don't want to do. Like I'm
Yeah.
taking control. And I decided to like break free and I became my own boss. And I started my own wellness company and my own fitness company called Sweat Remix. It didn't originally that it took a couple years to start that, but
Yeah.
that's when I started. And I was really successful in Boston. I had a really substantial following. I was doing these like huge events. I was teaching all over the city, like running around like a mad woman teaching 20 something classes a week, plus the
Hmm.
hour commute in between classes. Like, my central nervous system was like, go fuck yourself. Like, it was just
Yeah.
adrenal fatigue, like you wouldn't even believe. But I loved it. I loved it. And I felt in control. And it was also like a way for me to like, I think, okay, I think when you're in a toxic situation, whether it's a relationship or whether it is a job, anything that stifles you and limits your energy and your creativity and the real essence of who you are, I think you have to go buck wild. I think
Hmm.
for me, it was like, I gotta release all the pent up energy. And I just felt like I needed to go like absolutely buck wild out of my mind. And I'm
Yeah.
actually having a podcast on this in I think 2 weeks. So stay tuned.
Perfect.
Yeah, and I like wore these crazy outfits and I just became a caricature of all of the things that I wasn't allowed to be times 100.
Yeah.
Like took the parts of my personality that felt so stifled and I was like frequency all the way up. I was like, we're gonna blow
Yeah.
this fire, like blow it up.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I had like I was intense, it was energy, and I truly, truly loved it at that time because it's exactly what my soul needed. I needed to be in
Hmm.
control, I needed to be loud, I needed to go buck fucking wild. And then pandemic happened. And
Oh,
now I'm
yes.
trapped in my 700 square foot apartment with another human being trying to figure out how to navigate the digital space, which I never, ever, ever in a million years wanted.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I navigated that through pandemic and I built a really successful on demand and virtual business that I kept for almost 3 years. For three
Hmm.
years, I kept it going. And then I just got burnt out. I got burnt out. I saw a lot of shifts happening in the fitness industry and
Yeah.
just what it takes to maintain it. And I was like,
Hmm.
I had to be really honest with myself of like, is this where you are now?
Yeah.
Does this business reflect like who you are now? Does it fulfill you in the way that you want? Does it feel stifling? And once again, I found myself in a place being like, this feels suffocating.
Yeah.
I love Sweat Remix. I'm so honored and grateful to have built it. It still is a huge part of my life. Like I still teach it, but that's not the front facing thing, you know?
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I just had to get real clear of like, okay, where are you now? I've done a lot of healing. I started Sweat Remix in
Hmm.
2013, officially launched it in 2018, So I've been doing this for over 10 years. And I'm just not the same person that started it. And if
Yeah.
I'm going to sit here and preach in a business to evolve and to grow and to live your best life, like I want to practice it too. So I kind of put it in the background and decided
Yeah.
to, again, I think it's finding like your equilibrium. Because again, I went from like school marm to buck wild fitness performer. And I was like, I think we got to let the pendulum like equal itself
Come
out.
back to the middle.
Yeah, yeah. Because I am out of my mind. I am intense, but like that level of intensity, I do not have that to give
Yeah.
anyone.
That was
To
all gone in like
that,
those years. You gave it all
yeah,
to those years.
because it's what I needed. I don't think it's healthy
Yeah.
for anybody to do that, but it's
Yeah.
what I needed to do long term. But it's what I needed to do in the short term to heal myself and to build this business and to feel aligned and connected. So now I kind of take my teaching background and
Hmm.
my like performer background from fitness and going buck wild, and I've met in the middle. And now I do corporate workshops, I do corporate speaking, I do keynote speaking, I do hosting events.
Hmm.
I do get to be a little bit of a performer, but I do not need to sweat my balls off.
Yeah.
And
That's
now I
good.
just get to talk my shit on my podcast with
Yep.
some really great sponsors. And again, it's more, I think, this elevated version of who I've always meant to be, which is
Yeah.
very insightful, very motivating, but in a way that right now in this moment feels aligned. I can't say what will happen in 3 to 5 years. I have no idea. I have no idea what happens.
Yeah.
So, yeah, to answer your question, that's my journey to entrepreneurship.
Yeah. Yeah. And I know I remember you going through the shift and like really, especially when you were phasing out-ish Sweat Remix and, you know, the feelings that you had around that and kind of like what you were going to do with it and all of that. And it's hard. Like it's tough to know what is the right thing, I guess, to do. There's never a right thing, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's hard. And especially when you've had something that you've built for that long.
Right.
Sorry if anyone can hear my cat.
Yeah. Just pull that cat hair out your mouth right there. That's fine.
I know, and lovely. Anyone who's watching on YouTube gets the full show, so enjoy.
Great.
I
Great.
know.
Well, I think it goes back to what I was saying in the beginning when we are connected to these roles that we play and we
Yeah,
wrap ourselves in an identity outside of like who we generally like in our essence are, then we start getting attached to things that might not serve us anymore.
yeah,
So I know that my identity is like, well, I'm Sweat Remix. Just like
yeah,
when I was a teacher, I am a teacher. No, bitch. Mm-mm. You teach.
no,
This is a job. This ain't an
yeah,
identity. This job will literally drop you like a bad fucking habit. So like get it clear on who you are outside
yeah,
of this job, you know? So I think I found myself in that position again of like, well, I'm not Sweat Remix. Sweat Remix is just something I do.
yeah,
Who am I? So I
yeah,
started having like a deeper conversation. I am this motivator. I am this storyteller. And that's never going to change. So it's
yeah,
always going to be what vehicle or what medium I'm using to be able to convey my storytelling, my motivated to spread my message that you're a goddamn badass and you could do whatever you want.
mhm,
It was fitness. Now it's speaking and podcasting. Again, I don't know what it will be in 5, 10 years, you know? But I
yeah,
think when you pull yourself away from the roles and the thing and look at the deeper underlying value of like, who the fuck are you? I
yeah,
think that's that for me, that's when I got really clear on like letting go and being okay with it because it's not who I am. It's just something that I did.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I love that.
Thanks. Yeah.
Yes.
Because
Well,
it is hard to let go. It's hard to let go of what you built because
it is.
we're raised in a meritocracy, we're raised in a patriarchy where your
Yeah.
worth is built off of what you can achieve and like what the fucking letters are after your name. So if you're like,
Hmm.
well, letting that go, who am I? Who gives a shit?
Yep.
You're a fucking amazing person no matter what you do. You're lovable,
Yeah.
you're worthy. Regardless if your business is making $5 right now or it's making
Exactly.
$500,000, like none of it,
It
you're
doesn't matter.
always worthy. You're always worthy. Yeah, because like, what
Yeah.
does that even mean? Like none of this is real. None of this is real.
Oh, I know. I have actually, that's funny. I have a post coming tomorrow about the whole 10K months
Guys,
thing.
shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up.
I'm so not joking. It's going to be great. It's going to be great.
I can't wait to see that.
Oh, okay. But
Yeah.
okay,
Let's,
this is what I had to ask you. So I told Angela that I was going to leave this for the podcast because we all had to get like the live reaction on this one because I feel like it's going to be good.
I have no
And
idea what this is. And you were like, do you want to know? I was like, no, keep it real.
no,
Keep it
no.
raw. Keep it raw.
Yeah. And so we talk a lot about like online stuff that's going on and bullshit online and, all the things. So, what do you think about this new trend? Instagram is fake. The Instagram is fake trend. Please tell me that you've seen it. This will be like such a, you haven't seen it?
No, but
Oh, I think you
I
might
say it
have to
all the
search
time.
it now.
I say it all the time that Instagram is fake, and that's
I
not a
know.
trend. That's being honest.
Exactly.
But
But
okay,
now,
no, because the same people who are saying that Instagram, now I'm fired up. The same people who are like
knew you
Instagram
would
is
be.
fake are the same people who believe that it's real. Like it's the irony of it. If it's
I
fake,
know.
stop hopping on a fucking trend. If it's fake, stop using the filters. If it's fake, start like, you know what I'm saying? Stop.
Exactly.
I don't need to see some 26-year-old on the
Yeah.
internet being like, live your best life. Baby girl, sit down. You're cute and you're thin and nothing's happened to you because you're 26. I'm going to need you to come over here to the 40-year-old pool and talk to me about what happens when you're here. You haven't,
Yeah.
by your time on this earth, and look, there's always outliers and there's always exceptions to people who've just gotten the shit kicked out of them in their life. But
Yeah.
your time on this earth, you're still on your fucking parents' insurance. Like, I don't. I don't want to hear
Yeah.
it. So it's fake. And I don't know where you got the fucking cojones to get on your soapbox and think like that your perspective is like, and look, I'm sure that there's somebody listening to you who's like, I think that that's great. Good. There's
Oh, yeah.
another 25-year-old out here is like, I love what she's saying. It's so on brand because you're not going to relate to me because like my life is so far from yours. It
Yeah.
is so complicated and so hard. And I'm in such a different phase of my life. So I know that I'm not for everybody. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I just find it really interesting that what gets trended is like the fakest shit
I
ever.
know. It is the most, you have to look this up because
Can I do it right
yes, do it now because like, honestly, I was like, this has got to be a joke, but it's like a thing. There's a couple people that have done it, and I'm like, yes, you did it. You did it well. Like that is it. But a lot a lot of influencers are like hopping on the trend, and I'm like, excuse me, Instagram is fake. Those are professional filtered photos showing your mansion, showing the like your whatever expensive car, throwing around money, blah.
You need to send it to me because I don't know what I'm looking at or what I'm looking for, but I get it. I get the idea.
There's
Yeah.
like all reels and I don't know, all this stuff. And I'm thinking like, no, you're missing the point. No,
Yeah.
that is fake.
Yeah. Yeah. And but at the same time, like it is, but it's not. Like it's not real
Yeah.
life for the majority of people. But if you're that
Yes.
fucking clueless, like Kim Kardashian or J Lo, like
Yeah.
I'm over that celebrity culture. Like you're literally complaining and like living in your mansion when I'm on government food assistance. Like go
Yeah.
fuck yourself. Like go fuck yourself. Like I
I
I
know.
don't have patience for that. That's not real to me. That's not
No.
real life. Like you living
No.
in a mansion that and how look, if you made that money on your own, like get your bag. I don't care. But that's not the
Yeah.
reality that many and I'm gonna lump us Northern Americans together because I'm
Yes.
sure Canada is very similar to the United States right now.
Oh
Like
yeah.
it's late stage capitalism, like at its core demonic state,
Yeah.
right? You can't
Yeah.
afford to live like I'm never gonna buy a house, you know?
Yeah.
Like
I know. Like,
it's reality. So yeah, I think that that shit is it's mind blowing to me that if you feel that you need to like read the room, read the room. People cannot feed themselves. People are like struggling out here, and you're
oh,
like another trip to Miami. Like first of all, it's dusty ass Miami. Relax, but you're going
yeah.
like read the room of like you're on your private jet and you're like another this and another that and I just think it's inconsiderate and I think it's egregious to continue to post shit when there are people who are like, I don't, I was homeless, yo. Like, what the fuck, you know? And
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I get really fired up about it because in some people's reality, that is their truth,
But
you know? Yeah, but
it's
it's
so off base of like the majority of people that it's
yeah.
like, what?
Well, it's easy.
planet do you live on?
It's
Like,
easy to be, life is easy when it's easy, yo. It's
true.
easy when you have, like, okay, let's go through your privilege for a second. Are you white? Okay, here we
Hmm.
are. Here we are.
Hmm.
If you're white, you're already like
Yeah.
way past the midline up the ladder here.
Yeah.
Okay. And then do you have both of your parents alive?
Yeah.
Okay, cool, cool, cool. Did did both of your parents go to college? Cool.
No.
Maybe did they help you go to college? Yeah. Did they help you go to college? Did they pay for you to go to college? Like, are they could they support you financially if you needed money? Like, did you grow up
Hmm.
like on a safe street riding your bike? Or did you know what I'm saying? Like, there's a
Yeah.
lot of factors that go in here. So if you have this life of like I see these women, I'm gonna say it. I'm just gonna fucking say it.
Go
I'm just
ahead.
because I don't care. Because it's the
No.
truth. I
Yeah.
see these women specifically who are like, made my 10K month, $50,000. And I was like, your husband is an investment banker and he makes $500,000 a year and he's like funding your passion project. Like, you're not out here having to be a server to like
I
make
know.
ends meet. Like, you're literally getting like
Yeah.
venture capital from the
Yes.
dick you're sucking. Like, it's easy when
Yes.
it's easy. So you're out here like pretending about this business and how easy in life it's, oh, my business was so hard. Was it? Because if I had someone financially backing me while I got to stay home all day and do
Hmm.
Pilates and run my business, like, I would be fucking successful too. I'd be
Yeah.
successful too. I don't have that kind of time because I got to work in addition to
Yeah.
building a business, you
I
know?
know.
So
I
it's
know.
easy.
And that's exactly it. That's exactly it. And that's like, this is the whole thing. And so many people aren't actually saying these things is like, this is not the reality. Like, that happens for some of these people that are, showing these things. But when you look at reality and you like, if you are someone that is looking at all of these posts thinking like, why is this not so easy for me? Why is this not happening for me? Actually look behind like what's really going on.
Yeah, absolutely. Because they're not out here struggling if someone else is paying the bills, you know? It,
It's yeah,
and then it becomes predatory. To me,
exactly.
my perspective, it becomes predatory because Becky had a 6-figure job
Hmm.
because Becky's a Nepo kid and got this 6-figure job because daddy put in a good word and she got the job, right? This is just a scenario, right? But I'm sure we know somebody. Um,
It's not Becky
it's
from Costa Rica.
a Becky, it's the same person. It's the same person.
Oh, okay.
Becky goes to Costa Rica because her husband pays for the trip and it's a bunch of white women like just appropriating like Indian culture and yoga and all of
Yes.
that and like talking about their eating disorders, being like, I'm a life coach now. When you haven't lived any fucking life and then you come back and you're like, I'm going to start a coaching business. And then someone gives you the money to start the coaching business.
Isn't that what you
And
do?
I mean, that's what they do. Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. So what was I saying before? Oh, like Becky gets the job, the 6-figure job,
Hmm.
right? And then Becky also has the support of her parents and her dad and her mom, and they're sending her money. And then Becky meets somebody, and then they get married, and now the husband is footing the bill. And Becky's over here being like, look what I was able to do in 6 months. I can help you. And then you're so goddamn desperate because you're like, I'm seeing the dream.
Yeah,
I'm seeing,
I want that.
I want that because that's why I
Yeah.
was an entrepreneur because I wanted financial freedom and I wanted to make a ton of money. And I'm seeing Becky do it. So I'm going to hire her. Let
Yeah.
me tell you right now, if you do not live a parallel life to Becky, there is nothing that she's going to be able to teach you that's going to help you because her life is vastly it's not about yes,
Yeah.
some strategies and there's some tactics, but what's missing from that equation is like what do you do when you're a single mom?
Yeah.
Are you going to really fucking quit your job
Yeah.
because
No,
Becky
no.
gave you some tactics on how to build your business?
Yeah.
I think I had two back-to-back 10K months
Hmm.
in the years that I ran my business. For the most
Yeah.
part, I barely made two. Like, if we're being honest, right? Barely. I had to piece it together other ways.
Yeah.
So that's the reality of what's going to happen when you quit your business. It's not going to
I
be like,
know.
I quit and then take 10K because Becky's strategy. No, that's just not the reality all the time. It can happen.
Yeah, like I know, like from with me, yes, I am married, but at the same time, I was working 3 nursing jobs while I was building my business until I built it up to a point where it was sustainable. Like it is not like you can't just decide that tomorrow you're going to start a business and just quit your job today and like go and think overnight it's going to be, millions in the bank.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
not happening.
Yeah. It's not. And I think that's what gets missing from the conversation of like, just because this person over here is doing it, look at the factors and the contributions that got
Yeah.
them. It is it luck? Sure. Is it connections? Sure. But if you're
Yeah.
starting at the top fucking rung, of course it's really easy to get to the top.
Yeah.
Of
You're already there.
course. You're already there. You're already there.
There's
You
nowhere else to go.
like someone
Yeah.
literally like handed it to you and you're like down at the bottom, like wiping sweat and dirt and blood off your face, being like, I really want to join you.
I know. Please let me up.
Please help.
Save me. Save me.
Yeah. It's like Becky's not throwing down a ladder, giving up some of that, like,
No.
financial prosperity. It's just like, it's too bad, so sad. Like, that sucks. And then they just keep,
Yeah.
you can't afford me. Sorry. Sorry.
No, take it out on a credit card or your 401k.
I did that. I did that. I
How
worked.
how was
I worked
that?
with one of those. It was
Yeah.
the most traumatic business experience I ever had, and I
Yeah.
don't think I can say her name. I don't
Mhm.
think I can say her name because I think I signed some shit, and not for nothing. This bitch has got way more money than I do to like take me to the cleaners for defamation and libel.
Oh, okay, don't.
So,
Just tell me after.
yeah. So it was right in the height of COVID.
Yeah.
And I was desperate. Like I just switched my
Mhm.
business. I was like booming, in-person events, light shows, whole fucking thing. And I switched it online and I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. Like no clue. And I
Yeah.
never wanted this. I never wanted to be like an Instagram influencer
No.
ever,
No.
ever. I feel grimy to this day being like, hey, boss babe, are you ready to transform your life? Like, I fucking can't. I can't say that.
No.
I can't, you know what I'm saying? And that's why I think a lot of my business like wasn't successful because I was like, look, do you want to
Yeah.
work out? Yeah,
Yeah.
cool. Come on over. No,
Let's do it.
no. Like I wasn't like manipulative. So, anyways,
Yeah.
like, do you want it?
You didn't have the manipulation down. No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I got manipulated. I'm a smart woman. I'm a gangster. And I
Right.
was like,
Hmm.
yep, I'm desperate. I'm operating from scarcity. And she was like, I can help you. And I was like, okay.
Let's do
So I did it.
this.
I was like, let's do it. I was like,
Yeah.
you're gonna build because I was like, let's build an online course. Like, let's get it. Let's do it.
Hmm.
She's like, I can help you. And she's like, $6,000. I was not working.
Hmm.
My rent was $3,000 a
Hmm.
month. I was not working. Okay. I
Yeah.
was just living on the grace and donations of Venmo payments and like what people I didn't have like it all. I didn't have it ironed out yet. This was June of pandemic.
Oh, good. Yep.
May even. Yeah, it was May.
Mm.
Um so I got into this course and it was like a cult. It was just like egregious. And it was aggressive, it was manipulative, it was forceful, and it
Hmm.
was so rooted in like supremacy and privilege that I
Hmm.
can't even begin to articulate it. Like I'm
Hmm.
sitting here being yelled at by some white dude who's like a wannabe Tony Robbins, who's like, you just gotta like, get it together. And if your mindset isn't good, then it's
Mindset
on you.
harder.
You just try harder, right? And I was like, hi, like here's my situation. And he's like, well,
Um,
you're not trying hard enough. And I was like, whoa,
clearly.
whoa, whoa. So like, anyway, so there was that. And then this happened maybe like a month into the program was George Floyd's murder.
Mm.
And so it was, let me back up before that. And it was like, do it this way, do it this way, do it this way. And it was always criticism, always criticism. And this bitch made people cry
Oh, yeah.
on the calls that we did. Now,
Good.
mind you, there were 40 something people in this call. So I paid $6,000 to like not be heard. It was
Awesome.
awesome. Like I could have gone
Yeah.
take a business class at Harvard for that much
Yeah,
money.
exactly. Yeah.
And gotten the same out of it. So she would make people cry and she'd be like, why is that? Why? And it was like attacking and aggressive. And as an educator, I was like, yo, I know that there were some times where I was pushing kids, but I was doing that and I was really rude and really abusive and aggressive because I was unhealed. So I'm like
Hmm.
watching this in real time and I was like, no, like this woman has no idea. So
Yeah.
anyway, so George Floyd is murdered, and it was, just a moment in cultural history where we all had to take inventory of our own personal racism, of our own,
Hmm.
contribution to it, and it's a hard conversation.
Yeah.
Whites don't like doing that. Whites don't like doing that. So,
Yep.
um, and I'm not trying to be like, oh, I'm like not like that white. Like, no, I mean, I've all like, I'm in it. I get it. I get it.
Yep.
So this bitch, that's how she will be referred to.
Perfect. Yeah.
She was like, I'm going to do a talk, like I'm going to host a discussion about George
Imagine where this is going.
Floyd. I think it would be really great for us to like share how we feel. And I was like,
Oh
open
God.
top. I was like, hi. I don't know why you think that you're qualified to do
Yeah,
this.
I was gonna say not your place.
Like as a white woman, like again, read the room. It comes back to read the room. Read the room.
Yeah.
Like this is what people are saying. Like take a step back, open the door, use your platform, and let someone who experiences the world from a non-white point of view come on and talk about
Yep.
diversity, equity, inclusion. And I wrote her that and I said it's reckless for you without proper training
Yeah.
and
And I
and I
can.
used to do like trainings and DEI work and like yo if you are not trauma informed, if you do not know how to
Mhm.
lead a conversation around race, that shit's reckless.
Yeah, you can't do that.
So she wrote me back and told me like how disrespectful it was,
Oh, yeah.
and she even went on the call and she was like some people emailed me and I just can't believe that they would think that I wasn't qualified. And I was just like, yo, are you serious? Like she was just on this high horse of like, I know best. I know
Yeah.
best. She made her money by manipulating
Hmm.
and forcing like by the end of the 12-week program the call went from like 45 people to I think 6, and she was like yeah everybody drops off, they can't handle it. And I was like no, you got to look at how your program is run and why people don't want to come, like why people fall off and why people don't want to be here. It's
Yeah,
because
that's not a good look.
yeah. So it was like you're
Like,
taking $6,000 with the promise of your 10K month, of the promise of like a, $30,000 launch, $50,000 launch. And did people do it in the course? Sure. But out of 45, I think it was one.
I was gonna say, yeah,
It was
how
one.
many?
But yeah,
Hmm.
it was just really aggressive, and it wasn't about running a business that worked for you in your
Mm.
way. You needed, it was like, do as I say. And if you don't, you're the reason you fail. And you're like, well, I'm actually like looking for guidance and help. And how can you
Yeah.
help me? It just like wasn't it. And it was honestly one of the most traumatic business experiences ever. Like when someone tells me sales funnel, I like I want to cringe. I want
So
to
like
cringe.
me,
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry.
except for I don't do that to people. I will not
Yeah.
do that.
So,
That's terrible.
I wish her well. I wish her well. But again,
Ish.
she was a white woman from New Jersey, um, who like had a lot of support, had a lot of help, had a lot of privilege.
Yeah.
Won't deny that she ran a successful fitness business and then pivoted into business. Like I won't take those
Yep.
accomplishments away, but yo, like the way that you went about it was very MLM-y, was
Hmm.
very aggressive, and was not individualized to what people need, and was lacked empathy, like lacked care, concern, consideration, and empathy for sure.
Yeah.
So that's all I'll say about that.
Yeah. That's awful.
Yeah.
That's
So
awful. And it's interesting because I feel like almost everyone, I don't know if I've come across anyone that doesn't have some kind of story like that, that hasn't run across someone who has or some kind of coach like that. Like whether it's to that extreme or not as much, but something like that. Like it's so crazy.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, it's unfortunate because I think that's like how the coaching industry like boomed. It took advantage. It
Hmm.
was like the right opportunistic time for people like struggling to live and to make money
Yeah.
with a false promise. And like I fell for it. I fell for the shiny thing because I was in scarcity mode and I was worried and I couldn't pay bills and I didn't have any money coming in. So I took the shiny thing. I ate the apple,
Yeah.
you know. But yeah, that it's all tactics. And then once you're in a program like that, I can smell that shit from a mile away.
Oh yeah.
As soon as I get a DM from some random person who's like, I love your content. I would love to know more about you. No, you the fuck don't.
Mm-mm.
Don't. Don't DM me.
No.
What what do you want? What do you want?
Yeah. I love when you get those and then you ask like a specific question about what they love about your content and they can't answer.
Yeah.
Or it's like some random answer and you're like, that's not even what I do.
No, they don't care.
And
They
you're
don't.
like, huh?
Yeah.
I
Yep.
love doing that.
Yeah.
Just to see.
Welcome.
Just
I
to see.
just did one. I just got one the other day and I wrote back, oh Lord. I wrote back, oh Lord. He
Right.
didn't write back. I can't imagine why.
Oh,
Why?
surprising.
Right. Because I'm calling
Surprising.
you out on your tactic, and I'm like, oh, are you at the phase of like dating in the DMs? Is that where you are right now? Is that because that's what it's called? So I'm just going to call you out because
Mhm.
that's what I'm trying to do. So what's next? Is this what's next? And I'll go through the whole fucking formula.
Yeah.
It's it's from the book Launch. Read the book Launch. It's got a blue cover. I can't remember who it's by, but like you'll get all the fucking shady tactics and shit from there.
Yeah.
So God bless.
I know. Yeah, it's insane. Well, and there's scripts, there's all kinds of things, and it's
Absolutely.
like,
And
why?
there was a part in the script because it's geared towards women, right? Because
Yeah.
women just, socially have a harder time with authority and saying no, and we get manipulated,
Hmm.
right? Like, and a lot of women are struggling to be entrepreneurs. Like, there's this whole
Hmm.
female coaching space, all of that. So it's geared towards women. So there was something in the script that was like, it's a $5,000 payment. Like, are you ready to make the investment in yourself? And like, obviously, their answer is yes. And then the next follow-up question, I shit you not, is there anybody else that you need to like run this by?
Yep. Oh, yeah. I'm familiar with this one because then in comes the husband objection.
Yep. And there's a whole sales
Oh,
script
there
on
sure is.
how to, because a woman can't make decisions by herself.
No,
So
obviously.
yeah, obviously. So that to me, I was like, that's disgusting. Like, I don't even want to be in a room where we're promoting a sales script where a woman has to like go and ask fucking permission to a bank account with her name on it. Nah.
I know.
Mm-mm. No thanks.
And I
So yeah.
mean, sure, like I'm not saying that you can't discuss it. That's totally fine. Totally fine. But it's just like it's
Permission.
so weird how this is done. Yeah, it's so weird.
Yeah, it's
It's
gross. It's
not okay.
predatory. It's gross, and I feel like I we should probably get together and do like a like coaching what is it, like sales solicitation uncovered. Like I'll fucking tell you all the
Oh
tactics.
yes. I
Go
know.
through like one by one because I can smell them a mile away, and it never
Yeah.
felt right for me to do any of those. It felt grimy, it felt
No.
salesy, it felt schemy. I felt like a grimy like vacuum salesman. I was like, I don't want to fucking do this. I don't
Yeah.
want to do it.
No.
I think that's why like my coaching business, like I have a really powerful coaching program and I do it solely on word of mouth. I
Hmm.
don't I
Yeah.
don't advertise it because it is costly, it is expensive, and it is effective. And I'm not trying to pressure anybody into it. If you want it, if you want to learn more about working with me and like being your most best gangster self, like I'm
Yeah.
happy to work with you, but I'm not gonna be like, hey, here we go. Like
Yeah.
four doors open, only three spots left. Like that's dumb. There's never three spots left. I'm
Yeah.
telling everybody right now. Nobody's signed up. When they say there's three spots left, no one's fucking signed up.
Yeah.
welcome.
Sometimes I say that, but there's like actually only five spots, I
Yeah.
have to say.
Yeah. But it's a
Like,
tactic. It's a tactic to create fear, to create urgency. It's
but
all psychology, you know?
yes, I would agree, but sometimes I'll be like, there are like two spots in this, but it's
Yeah.
not, I'm not like,
Manipulating it to create a sense of fear. Like, get on it now.
no, and I don't say that. It's just like these are the spots that I literally have available because
Yeah.
I do also have a wait list. Like it's just stuff isn't always available, but I'm not like secretly having like 20 spots available and saying that there's only like two left, but
That's
really like there's all no.
that's the tactic. Mm-hmm.
Oh, it totally is.
So,
Yeah, it
mm-hmm.
totally is.
Well, thanks for letting me go on a rant. I feel like I'm fucking throat hurts now from talking.
Oh, I know, it was amazing. It was so good.
I don't
So
know.
good. Well, this is the real behind the scenes, so
Yeah, this is the behind the scenes. And I think what we're all craving right now is real. I think
I
people
think
want
so
to know
too.
that they're not alone in the struggle. They're
Hmm.
not alone in the struggle. And like, I think it's a fine line too. Like I do share a lot about what's happening behind the scenes, but I also like reserve some stuff because not everybody on the internet has earned the right and privilege to like
Yeah.
the depth of my experience and my story.
Oh yeah.
That's not for everybody. Like I have a persona on the internet and I'm happy to share and give what I think is fit to the
Hmm.
people who haven't given reciprocity. You know what I'm saying? Like there's some
Yeah.
depth, some real shit, and that's saved for the circle. That's saved for
Yeah.
my people. Like you don't get to know I'm not an open book, you know.
Yeah.
There are some things I don't talk about and I don't share because that's not your
Hmm.
fucking business.
Yeah, and that there is definitely a line there, and I think that yeah, that's absolutely true, and it goes along with that whole like going back to the trend thing. There's a difference between doing that and then claiming like Instagram is fake and still filtering everything and da da da. Like you can still be real online and not have to like spill out everything.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's okay. And if you're sharing your struggle
Mhm.
for the sake of trying to be relatable, well, that's not real either. That's not
And
real either.
yeah, and that's also some of this trend. And that's also some of like what other people have said that they have an issue with is it's like, this is when people are trying to say that they're being real and it's like the only time. And it's like, well, that doesn't make sense. If that's the only time that you can be real online,
Yeah.
what are you doing the rest of the time?
If you're contriving it and you're thinking about it and you're thinking about how this is going to show you're real and
You're not
how
real.
this is going to generate income, that is the complete opposite of what you're trying to do. Then it's calculated, then it's fake, then it's marketing.
Exactly. That's
You
exactly
know what I
it.
mean? Like if you're sitting there and you're like, this is gonna show how real I am. Fuck you. No, it's not. That's not the point. You missed the point.
No,
Missed the point.
I know. Like it's so, oh my God. I'm just like,
Like I posted something this morning
I,
and I like was stumbling over my words and I was like, I don't know, I'm just out here enjoying the day. Felt like I should talk some shit. Here it
I
is.
know.
I don't care if
No.
I wasn't doing it. I wasn't like, hey, make sure you like this video, make sure you follow. It was just like, look how cute my dog is and let me talk some shit. That was what it's for, with
Yeah.
no ulterior motive at all. It was just like, yo, I'm feeling overwhelmed. And when I'm overwhelmed, I get paralyzed. Here's what I'm doing to work through it. Cool.
Hmm.
Have a great day. That's it.
I know. I
You
know.
know?
Like oh my God, I post shit all the time where I stumble over my words and I don't say like, I'm just whatever. And I don't care.
Yeah. No.
I literally like, I, I
Doesn't
don't
matter.
record shit. I just don't care.
No. Yeah. I think
That's,
that's a huge part of it. Like as you can keep it as unfiltered as possible. I
yeah,
don't edit the podcast.
no,
It is just like a one take situation. My dog is like vomiting in the background or eating a mouse in the background, whatever.
yeah, it is
It's
what it is. You get what you get.
yeah, there's like a siren
It's
going
just like,
off, and I was like, just real life shit, guys. Hold on, pause.
I know, right? Like, who cares?
Cheers.
But it's true. Like, this is what I think people are really wanting because we've been like shoved so much of the influencer bullshit for so long that people are like, where is real life? Like, what happened to like real people?
Mhm.
They exist.
Yeah, I think the downfall of celebrity culture, like it's here, like it's the jump the
Yeah.
shark moment for celebrities, for influencers, because we're over it. I
Yeah.
don't watch you like pretend in your life. Like I want to see just someone doing something cool and real and like I like that for you. How do I join? You know?
Hmm.
That's what I want to see. Or I just want
Yeah.
to be off social media and like in person with my friends.
I know.
There's that.
I know. Imagine what a
Yeah.
concept.
Because when you're asking me, like
Groundbreaking.
Instagram, so I was like, I don't know. I kind of haven't been on it recently because like I don't,
I know.
whatever.
Well, and I was kind of surprised that I caught that one because I honestly don't scroll a lot. That's something that I don't actually do a lot. And since I had to restart my Instagram,
Yeah.
I follow even less people now because
No.
I just, yeah,
Yeah. Keep it slim and trim. Like keep it lean, you know?
exactly.
Sometimes I have to go in and it's like accounts least interacted with. I don't even look who it is. Nope.
Nope.
Got it.
Nope. You're gone.
And then I think too,
I,
like it's okay to unfollow someone you really don't like.
yeah,
Who cares? Who cares?
yeah.
Well, we're on the same socials. I don't give a fuck. I don't really like you. Think you're full of shit. I don't
And
follow you.
like, it's not like they get a notification.
I wouldn't.
No one notices.
Who cares if they do? I've
I
unfollowed a
don't,
bunch of
yeah.
people. They reached out and they're like, "You unfollowed me." Yeah, I did. I've never
So,
been. I've been nothing but nice to you, and I was like, I just don't give a shit about you or your life, and I'm unfollowing you. Like, God bless. Thank you for the support. Hope I supported you, and let's just like part ways and keep it moving. Thanks so much.
I know you don't have to follow everyone. You really don't.
Oh,
It's
anybody,
okay.
you don't owe anybody anything. Come full
No,
circle moment back to the beginning of the podcast. You don't owe anybody anything. You can live a
no.
life that you want in a way that works for you without rules,
Mm.
without expectations. Like if you decide that that's what you want, you don't owe anybody a goddamn explanation.
No, you just go do whatever you want.
Just go do it.
I mean, within reason, sort of, but
Right. Right. Don't harm any animals or children in that process.
yeah,
Yeah.
probably don't do illegal shit, but
On
you
the
know,
planet. But you know what we're saying here, okay? You know what I
keep
mean?
it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
thank
And
you.
now everyone's going to be like, I'm no longer following you. So just kidding. It's fine.
It's fine.
Just tries.
I'm not, this is the
Cool.
least of my worries in my life because I got other shit.
I know, right? So
Yeah, yeah.
anyways, it's been great. I love this.
Thank you.
Such a good conversation.
Yeah, let's do it. I'm pumped for this to go on YouTube because the gremlins on YouTube are pretty relentless. So
Well, my 8 subscribers will let us know. Okay.
8 subscribers, I love you. Love you guys.
Woo.
Well, thank you for having me. I appreciate this
Yeah,
conversation and just always keeping it real
of
from
course.
3,000 miles away from each other. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I know. Someday
We're gonna meet up halfway somewhere, like
we
soon.
will. We will. It's gonna happen.
Love it. Well, thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
And thank you everybody for listening.
Yes. If you are on YouTube, please like and subscribe. I would appreciate it. My husband always tells me, he's like, you actually have to add that at the end. I'm like, thank you.
I don't do fuck with YouTube. I know that's like too much for me right now. I'm lucky I can figure out how to do this podcast. Okay. Like put it on YouTube. It's a whole other game. I'm not ready
I
to
know.
play.
Oh, well, I guess I'm doing it.
Yeah. No, it's good. I love it.
So, yeah, here we are. All right. Well, thank you for listening, and we'll see you in the next one.